So you're buying or selling a house in Tom's River, and you've got this one line item that can feel like a total black box, the home appraisal. Well, we're going to pull back the curtain on that right now and figure out exactly what you should expect to pay.
Let's just cut right to the chase. No guesswork needed. I'm going to give you the hard numbers for 2025 and 2026 so you can walk into this knowing exactly what to budget.
Okay, here it is, the bottom line. For a totally standard home appraisal in Tom's River, you need to be thinking somewhere in the ballpark of $600 to $650. That's the magic number. And just to be clear, that price tag covers pretty much the vast majority of properties out there. Your typical single-family house, a condo, you name it. So you're probably wondering, why that specific number? Where does it come from? Well, believe it or not, that price isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's actually anchored by one really important document that kind of sets the standard for the entire area. It's called the VA fee schedule, and once you get this, you get the whole pricing game. So what on earth is it? Basically, it's an official list of the maximum fees that the Department of Veterans Affairs will allow for appraisals on VA loans. But here's the kicker. This list has become the unofficial gold standard for all appraisal pricing in Ocean County. It doesn't matter if you have a VA loan or not. And if we look at the actual breakdown, you can see it right there. The schedule pins the fee at $600 for a single-family home or a condo. It bumps up a bit to $650 for a manufactured home. They have some extra hoops to jump through. And then it goes up to $775 for a multifamily property. These are the real numbers that the whole market is based on. And look, this isn't just a theory. It's how things actually work on the ground. The research is clear that these VA amounts serve as a really strong benchmark, even when a VA loan isn't involved at all. It just creates a nice, predictable starting point for everybody. But okay, you knew this was coming, right? That baseline number isn't always the final number. There are a few key things that can definitely push that cost up. So let's get into what you need to be on the lookout for. First, think about how complex your property is. I mean, is it a one-of-a-kind custom build right on the water? That's going to take a lot more work than a standard house in a subdivision. Location matters too. A bayfront property needs more specialized research. And of course, if you need it done yesterday, a rush order will cost you more. And then finally, certain loan programs like FHA have their own strict guidelines that can add to the fee. Let's just put this side by side. On one hand, you've got a normal home in a subdivision with a conventional loan. The appraisal for that is probably going to stick really close to that baseline cost we talked about. But on the other hand, picture that custom waterfront home. Maybe it's on a huge lot and it's got a more complicated loan. Every single one of those unique things adds time for the appraiser, and that's what pushes the cost up. It really just boils down to this simple idea. Complexity takes time, and time costs money. The more special your home is, the more digging and analysis the appraiser has to do. That's what you're really paying for, their expertise and their time. Okay, so now that you know all this, how can you actually prepare for it? How do you avoid getting a surprise bill at the last minute? Let's walk through a super simple game plan. Here are 4 easy things you can do. First, just ask your lender straight up if they follow the VA schedule. That gives you a fantastic starting point. Second, and this is a big one, always get the final fee confirmed in writing before anyone steps foot on your property. Third, give yourself enough runway so you don't have to pay extra for a rush order. And last, if you happen to be shopping around, just make sure you're comparing the full final quotes. And speaking of giving yourself enough time, there is a magic number I want you to remember, and it's 10. 10 business days. Yup, 10 business days. That's the typical turnaround time that's even noted in the VA guidelines, and it's a very realistic window for the Toms River area. If you need it done faster than that, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to pay a rush fee. So building those 10 Ds into your closing schedule is just the smartest move you can make. All right, let's wrap this all up. For your typical single-family home or condo there in Toms River, if you budget for that $600 to $650 range, you are going to be in a great spot for 2025 and 2026. No surprises. Look, figuring out the appraisal cost is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a really important one. Now that you've got this expense totally demystified, what's the next part of the process you're ready to tackle? You got this.